What if I told you that when prompting AIs like ChatGPT, that even the most complex tasks can be reduced to just a few words? And you'll get better results. First off, what even is a perfect prompt? Well, have you ever tried asking AI for something and getting a completely unexpected result? It's like if you were trying to order sushi, but a pizza got delivered instead. When ordering, maybe I could have said, I want a tuna roll, instead of just, food please. Then I could be eating my sushi instead of a pepperoni pizza. And this is the essence of the perfect prompt. It's about being specific and providing all the necessary details to get back the response that you want. And this holds true for image models, large language models, or any other generative AI. And a crucial point to all this is that these perfect prompts are different depending on the task you want the AI to do. So for simple tasks, the prompts might be simple and straightforward. For more complex tasks, though, your prompts need to be detailed and well-crafted. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually go about crafting these perfect prompts? Well, right now, the process involves deeply understanding your desired outcomes, using advanced prompting techniques, and usually using some type of prompting framework like the one I talked about in my last perfect prompt video. This all works great, but it is a lot of work. So can you really get the same, or even better, responses as me using all I've learned over the past few years working with large language models and doing it with only a few words? Well, yeah. A while back, I was trying to get ChatGPT to respond with some complex JSON. I needed 3 things out of it, and no matter what I did, it would only respond with 2. I'm not even exaggerating when I say I spent 3 full days trying to get ChatGPT to return a proper response. This was maybe about a year ago, and I had just then read a research report that said that large language models are actually better at prompting themselves than humans are. And since that time, there's been many more research reports proving the same thing. So, I finally swallowed my prompting ego, and I gave it a try. And what do you know? It worked. It wasn't perfect, but I was getting better results than I was getting from the previous few days. And after a little bit of tweaking here and there, I got to pretty much perfect results every single time. So let me now share with you the prompt I use with ChatGPT to have it build all the prompts for me. And before you take the prompt and run, there is one critical piece that you need to do to make sure it works. But first, here's the prompt. In the first part, I basically just say, you are an expert prompt engineer, and here's your task of creating a meta prompt. Then further down, I give it a framework to build, basically the exact framework I used in my other perfect prompt video. And then down below, there are some important notes that I sort of worked out through trial and error that it needs to do its job properly. And lastly, there's this space here that you just delete and put in what you want the prompt to be about. And here is that critical part I mentioned before. So before you just take the prompt and run, you need to copy it and create a new chat. If you just continue chatting in that same chat, ChatGPT will get all confused thinking it's still a prompt engineer, and you probably won't get back the results that you want. So make sure to create a new chat. This method can be used in a million scenarios, but today I want to highlight 3. First, a clear, simple, straightforward example to illustrate how the whole process works. 2, a complex real-world scenario that I actually used a few days ago. And 3, an image model example. First off, we're going to go with the straightforward, simple example. So for this one, we're going to target a task that we know large language models are particularly bad at. Write the last letter of each word in this sentence. I want sushi in my tummy, not pizza. Let's hit enter and see how it does. All right, so the real answer is ITINYYTA. It got kind of close, actually. It put in a comma, which is weird, and it missed the N. Let's try a brand new chat with my lazy method, all right? So just paste in that stuff. Don't even need to adjust it. The only part we need to switch is this last part. And for this, we're just gonna write the last letter of each word in the provided sentence and see what it comes up with. Okay, I'm just gonna take this without even reading it. I'm just gonna assume it works. create a new chat and swap out that input sentence with, I want sushi in my tummy, not pizza. Let's see how it does. All right, so let's see. That output was ITINYYTA. We got it right. Here's a real-world example of how I used this a few days ago to help out a friend. My friend has a YouTube channel where he does long interviews. And one problem he has is that he needs to, after the interview, break up the interview into small chapters that he can put in the YouTube description. He's used a bunch of AIs for this, but none of them really work out. And here's an example of when I just paste it right into ChatGPT. It kind of ignores my request to do it by the question and just does tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. And all of the timestamps are off by quite a bit. So let's run this through my lazy way and see what happens. So we're just going to replace this part at the bottom. Extract all the interviewer's questions and timestamps in a given video transcript. Hit enter. It's going to build this beautiful prompt. And without even looking at it, I'm just going to copy and paste it into a new chat. Now I'm going to go grab the transcript and replace this part right here and see what happens. And that's much better. 6 total questions that it extracted, and I know it was struggling on this one every time. It was getting the wrong timestamp. It's got it right here, which is perfect. Like I mentioned before, this works for image prompting too. A couple videos ago, I mentioned my favorite image generator, Focus. And one of the reasons this is my favorite image generator is that it has my lazy method built right in. Let's check out some examples with this feature on and off to compare the difference. So here's the UI of Focus. It's pretty straightforward. And to start, let's just enter a really basic prompt with all the styles turned off. And I'll just hit enter. So like I said, Focus has my lazy method built in. What that means is if you have Focus V2 enabled, it will take your prompt and add a bunch of extra things to that prompt to make it basically a better prompt and create better images. And right now it's off. So let's see what it generates with it off. Then I'll turn it on and we'll see what happens next. And I'm going to fast forward now so you don't have to wait for this whole thing to generate. All right, let's see. Not bad. Kind of weird. There is a robot and there are apples. Better than I was expecting, honestly. But let's turn the lazy method feature on and see what happens. All right, so here are the images. First off, much better apple, much better robot. It is clearly trying to eat it. It has some weird teeth, which is cool. Either way, you can clearly see it's a much better image. And for an even deeper dive on Focus, you can check out this video right here. If you like this video, consider subscribing. There'll be many more videos like this in the future. I'm gonna go order some sushi now.